20. There are 4 different things that could happen with this new adhesive, 4 different situations. The surface could be clean. The surface could have oil on it. The surface could be too smooth, and the surface could have grit. Okay, and the question is, in each of these different scenarios, there's a different likelihood that the bonding material will work. And the question is, what's the likelihood the bonding material will work? So we get the first situation is that there's oil. The next situation is that it's too smooth. The next situation is that there's grit there. And the next situation is that it's clean. And towards the bottom part of the problem, it says the likelihood there's oil is 5%. The likelihood it's too smooth is 1%. The likelihood that there's grit present is 0.5%. And therefore, the likelihood that it's just clean is the rest of those, which if you subtract from 1, this is 0.935. So each of those 4 numbers right there adds up to 1. If I add those 4 numbers, I get 100%. Those are the 4 situations. Now, at the beginning of the problem, it says that the adhesive fails 3% of the time when there's oil. So it works or fails, and it works 97% of the time, fails 3% of the time. If it's smooth, it fails 12% of the time. Therefore, it works 88% of the time. If there's grit present, it fails 6% of the time. Works 94% of the time. And it says if it's clean, it works. And if you felt obligated to make a fork, then it's a 100% chance that it works and a 0% chance that it fails. So now we multiply down each branch, and we get 0.0485, 0.0086. I'm just doing the works right now. 0.0047 and 0.935. Now question A says, what's the probability it worked? So I'm just going to take those 4 numbers that I just wrote and add them together. Those are 4 disjoint cases, so there's no need to subtract anything from that. If I add those numbers together, I get 0.9968. That's the likelihood that it worked. Okay, this should be a 0.0088. So what? So this is 0.997. Now for part B, I've got to take the other answers, put them on the bottom, and the grit that failed goes on the top. 0.005 times 0.06. 2, 3, 4. And I get 0.1.